welcome to USA. I know you don't. You never have. The anti-primal triad, which is not God. Nothing is. Nothing becomes. Nothing is not. The first triad, which is God. I utter the word. I hear the word. The abyss. The word is broken up. There is knowledge. Knowledge is relation. These fragments are creation. The broken manifests light. The second triad, which is God. God the Father and Mother is concealed in generation. God is concealed in the whirling energy of nature. God is manifest in gathering, harmony, consideration, the mirror of the sun and of the heart. The anti-primal triad, which is not God. Nothing is. Nothing becomes. The third triad, bearing, preparing, wavering, flowing, flashing, stability, begetting. The 10th emanation, the world. This chapter, numbered 0, corresponds to the negative, which is before Kether in the Kabbalistic system. The notes of interrogation and exclamation on the previous page are the other two veils. The meaning of these symbols is fully explained in The Soldier and the Hunchback. This chapter begins by the letter O, followed by a mark of explanation. It refers to the theogony of Liber Legis, is explained in the note, also refers to Cataeus, Phallos, and Sperma, and is the exclamation of wonder or ecstasy, which is the ultimate nature of things. Note 1. Silence knew it. Oh, had it. Ra, hor, kuit. 1. Shh. I. The third triad. Bearing. Commentary, the anti-primal triad. This is the negative trinity. Its three statements are in an ultimate sense identical. They harmonize being, becoming, not being. The three possible modes of conceiving the universe. The statement nothing is not, technically equivalent to something is fully explained in the essay called Berashith. The rest of the chapter follows the Sephirotic system of the Kabbalah and constitutes a sort of quintessential comment upon the system. Those familiar with that system will recognize Ketha, Kokma, Bina in the first triad, Dath in the abyss, Chesed, Gebura, Tifereth in the second triad, Netzach, Chod, and Yesod in the third triad, and Malkuth in the 10th emanation. It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear until Tifereth. Commentary, the anti-primal triad. This is the negative trinity. Its three statements are in an ultimate sense identical. They harmonize being, becoming, not being. The three possible modes of conceiving the universe. The statement nothing is not, technically equivalent to something is fully explained in the essay called Berashith. The rest of the chapter follows the Sephirotic system of the Kabbalah and constitutes a sort of quintessential comment upon the system. Those familiar with that system will recognize Ketha, Kokma, Bina in the first triad, Dath in the abyss, Chesed, Gebura, Tifereth in the second triad, Netzach, Chod, and Yesod in the third triad, and Malkuth in the 10th emanation. It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear until Tifereth. Commentary, the anti-primal triad. This is It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear until Tifereth, and the universe itself not until Malkuth. The chapter may therefore be considered as the most complete treatise on existence ever written. Note, the unbroken, absorbing all is called darkness. The Sabbath of the goat. Oh, the heart of Nox, the night of Pan. Pan, duality, energy, death. Death, begetting, the supporters of all. To beget is to die is to beget. Cast the seed into the field of night. Life and death are two names of A. Kill thyself. Neither of these alone is enough. It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear. Tifereth in the second triad, Netzach holding Yesod in the third triad, and Morgoth in the 10th emanation. It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear until Tifereth. Commentary, the anti-primal triad. This is the negative trinity. Its three statements are in an alter. It will be noticed that this cosmogony is very complete. The manifestation even of God does not appear until Tifereth, and the universe itself not until Morgoth. The chapter may therefore be considered as the most complete treatise of existence ever written. Note, the unbroken, absorbing all is called darkness. The Sabbath of the goat. Oh, the heart of Nox, the night pan. Pan, duality, energy, death. Death, begetting, the supporters of all. To beget is to die is to beget. Cast the seed into the field of night. Life and death are two names of A. Kill thyself. Neither of these alone is enough. Shit, but you ain't no fucking ranger. This is Julius Caesar. This is an audiobook recording. This is chapter 10, Year of Rome, 702, book 7 of the commentaries. Revolt of Gaul, capture of Velanodunum, Genabum, and Noviodunum, sieges of Avaricum and Gagomia, campaign of Labienus against the Parisi, siege of Alesia. The Roman arms had in 6 years subjugated one after another the principal states of Gaul. Belgium, Aquitaine, and the countries on the seacoast had been the theatre of the most desperate struggles. The inhabitants of the Isle of Britain, like the Germans, had become prudent by the defeats they had suffered. Caesar had just taken a signal vengeance upon the revolted Eburones, and hoped that he might without danger leave his army and proceed into Italy to hold the assemblies. This is Julius Caesar. During his abode in this part of his command, the murder of P. Clodius took place the 13th of the calends of February 30th of December 701, which caused a great agitation and gave rise to the Senatus Consultus, which ordered all the youths of Italy to take the military oath. Caesar took advantage of it to make levies also in the province. The rumors of what was taking place at Rome soon passed the Alps. To revive the resentments and hopes of the Gauls, they believed that the domestic troubles would detain Caesar in Italy and would give rise to a favorable opportunity for a new insurrection. The principal chiefs meet in secluded spots, mutually excite each other by the recital of their grievances and by the remembrance of the death of Acco, promise great rewards to those who at the peril of their lives will commence the war, but decide that before all the return of Caesar to his army must be rendered impossible. During his abode in this part of his Okay, so this is Julius Caesar.
The internet should solve this because it's the only
Audio
way to financially do it.
Book.
This should be the modern
Chapter
collegiate. This should be the
10,
college.
number 2.
I'm just telling you how he said he feels that he's done it.
No, Andrew Moon.
Hey, so let me get.
Sure. Hit the wall.
The return of Caesar to his army must be rendered impossible, a project the execution of which was so much the easier since the legions would not dare to leave their winter quarters in the absence of their general, and since the general himself could not join them without a sufficient escort. The Carnutes are the first to offer to take arms, as the necessity of acting secretly did not allow them to exchange hostages. They exact as security an oath of alliance. This oath is taken by all the ensigns in a meeting in which the moment for the rising is fixed. And the day appointed to the Carnutes, led by two resolute men, Cotuatus and Conetodunos, rushed to Genabum, plundered and slaughtered the Roman merchants, amongst others the knight C. Fusius Sita, charged by Caesar with the victualling department. These news reached the return of Caesar to his army. On the day appointed, the Carnutes, led by two resolute men, Cotuatus and Conetodumus, rushed to Genabum, plundered and slaughtered the Roman merchants, amongst others the knight C. Fusius Sita, charged by Caesar with the victualling department. These news reached every state in Gaul with an extreme celerity, according to the custom of the Gauls of communicating remarkable events by cries transmitted from neighbor to neighbor across the country. Thus what had happened at Genabum at sunrise was known by the Arverni before the end of the first watch towards 8 o'clock at night, at a distance of 160 miles. Vercingetorix, a young Avernan, who possessed great influence in his country and whose father, Celtillus, for a time chief of all Gaul, had been put to death by his countrymen for having aspired to the royalty, calls his clients together and excites their zeal. Expelled from Gergovia by those who were unwilling to tempt fortune with him, he raises the country, and with the help of a numerous band, retakes the town and causes himself to be proclaimed king. Soon he seduces the Senones, the Parisi, the Pictones, the Cadurci, the Torones, the Aulerci, the Lemovies, of Armorica, the Andes, and the people who dwell on the shores of the ocean. The commandment is given to him by unanimous consent. He exacts hostages from those peoples, orders a prompt levy of soldiers, fixes the number of men in arms with each country is to furnish in a given time, and occupies himself especially with the raising of the cavalry. Active, daring, severe, and inflexible even to cruelty, he subjects to the most atrocious tortures of those who hesitate, and by these means from Gergovia by those who were active, daring, severe, and inflexible even to cruelty, he subjects to the most atrocious tortures those who hesitate, and by these means of terror soon forms an army. He sent a part of it to the Ruteni under the command of Caducus Lucterius, a man full of daring, and to draw the Bituriges into the insurrection, he invaded their territory. By acting thus, he threatened the province and protected his rear whilst he moved towards the north, where the Roman occupation was concentrated. On his approach, the Bituriges solicited the help of the Aedui, their allies. The last, by the advice of Caesar's lieutenants who had remained with the army, sent them a body of cavalry and infantry to support them against Vercingetorix. But when they reached the law which separated the territory of the two peoples, these auxiliary troops halted for some days and then returned without having dared to cross the river, pretending that they had been betrayed by the Bituriges. Immediately after active, daring, severe, which separated the territory of the two peoples, these auxiliary troops halted for some days and then returned without having dared to cross the river, pretending that they had been betrayed by the Bituriges. Immediately after the departure, the latter joined the Arverni. Caesar heard of these events in Italy, and reassured on the troubles in Rome which had been appeased by the firmness of Pompey, he took his departure from Transalpine Gaul. When he arrived on the other side of the Alps, perhaps on the banks of the Rhone, he was struck with the difficulties which lay in the way of his joining the army. If he sent for the legions into the Roman province, they would be compelled on their way to fight without him. If, on the other hand, he would go to them, he was obliged to pass through the populations to whom, notwithstanding their apparent tranquility, it would have been imprudent to trust his person. While Caesar found so great difficulties before him, Lucterius, who had been sent by Vercingetorix to the Ruteni, brings them over to the... which separated the territory of the two peoples. He succeeded. Okay, that was number 7. This is number 8. While Caesar found so great difficulties before him, Lucterius, who had been sent by Vercingetorix to the Ruteni, brings them over to the alliance with the Averni, advances towards the Nitio bridges and the Gabali, from whom he receives hostages, and at the head of a numerous army threatens the province in the direction of Narbonne. These events made Caesar resolve to proceed to that town. His arrival put an end to the people's fears. He placed garrisons among the peoples who bordered on the territory of the enemy, the Ruteni, on the left bank of the Tarn, Ruteni Provinciales, the Volcae, Arecomici, the Tolosates, and near Narbonne. At the same time, he ordered a part of the troops of the province and the reinforcements which he had brought from Italy to unite on the territory of the Helvae, which bordered upon that of the Averni. Intimidated by these dispositions, Lucterius did not venture to engage himself in the midst of these garrisons and retired. The first danger, while Caesar found so great these events made Caesar resolve to proceed to that town. His arrival put an end to the people's fears. This first danger averted, it was important for Caesar to prevent Vercingetorix from raising other peoples who might perhaps be inclined to follow the example of the Patergies. By invading the country of the Averni, Caesar might hope to draw the Gaulish chief into his own country, and thus remove him from those where the legions were wintering. He proceeded, therefore, to the country of the Helvae, where he joined the troops who had just concentrated there, the mountains of the Cevennes. This is Julius Caesar. This is an audio recording. This is chapter 10, Year of Rome, 702, book 7 of the commentaries. Revolt of Gaul, capture of Velanodunum, Genabum, and Noviodunum, sieges of Avaricum and Gagovia, campaign of Labienus against the Parisi, siege of Alesia. The Roman arms had in 6 years subjugated one after another the principal states of Gaul, Belgium, Aquitaine, and the countries on the sea coast had been the fierce. Okay, this is The Hymn to Pan by Aleister Crowley. Thrill with lissome lust of the light. Oh man, my man. Kamala, mute your mic. Come careering out of the night. Okay, you don't want to help? I'm going to put you in the audience because I'm recording this.
Sit down, huh?
Yeah, fucking hell. I'm gonna start it over. Thrill with lissome lust of the light. Oh man, my man, come careering out of the night of Pan, Eopan. Eopan, Eopan, come over the sea, from Sicily and from Arcady, roaming as Bacchus with fauns and pards, and nymphs and satyrs for thy guards. On a milk-white ass, come over the sea to me, come with Apollo in bridal dress, shepherdess and pythoness. Come with Artemis, silken shod, and wash thy white thigh, beautiful god, in the moon of the woods, on the marble mount, the dimpled dawn of the amber fount. Dimpled passionate prayer, in the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in the eyes of blue, to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bole, the living tree that is spirit and soul.
Hello, guys.
and body and brain, come over the sea.
You're not Donald Trump.
I'm reading poetry here. Are you interrupting me?
You're support Donald Trump.
Yes, I am.
Yes, it's very good. I am from Ukraine. I'm support Trump. Trump gave my
Devil or God, to me, my man, come with trumpets sounding shrill. Over the hill, come with drums, low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe. Am I not right? I, who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no bowers to nestle. My body weary of empty clasp, strong as a lion, sharp as an asp. Come, oh, come. I am numb with the lonely lust of doubledom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter, all devourer, all begetter. Give me the sign of the open eye, and the token erect of thorny thigh, and the word of madness and mystery. O Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, 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 Pan. I am a man. Do as thou wilt, as a great God can. O Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, Pan. I am awake in the grip of the snake. The eagle slashes with beak and claw. The gods withdraw. The great beasts come, Eo Pan.
People have no idea.
I am born to death on the horn of the unicorn. I am Pan, Eo Pan, Eo Pan, Pan, Pan. I am thy mate, I am thy man. Goat of the flock, I am gold, I am God. Flesh to thy bone, flour to thy rod. With hoofs of steel, I race on the rocks, through solstice stubborn to equinox. And I rave, and I rape, and I rip, and I rend. Everlasting, world-loving, mannequin, maiden, manid, man, in the might of Pan. Eo Pan, Eo Pan, 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 Eo Pan. Part of the complaint gang, I already know. You don't have to tell me what I already know. Hear me, Lord of the stars. For thee I have worshipped ever with stains and sorrows and scars. With joyful, joyful endeavor. Hear me, O lily white goat. O crisp as a thicket of thorns. With a collar of gold for thy throat. A scarlet bough for thy thorns. Here, in dusty air, they build me a shrine of you. All green is the garland I wear, but I feed it with blood for dew. After the orange bars that rid the green west dying are dead, O Lord of the stars, I come to thee, crying. The ambrosial moon that arose with breasts slow heaving in splendor drops wine from their infinite snows, ineffably, utterly, tender. The ambrosial moon that arose with breasts slow heaving in splendor drops wine desert of sorrow, with the magical eyes of me swoon, with lust of rain tomorrow. Ages and ages ago, I stood on the bank of a river, holy and holy and holy I know, forever and ever and ever. A priest in the mystical shrine, I muttered a redderless rune, till the waters were redder than wine, in the blush of the heart. I and my brother, priest, worshipped a wonderful woman, with a body lithe as a beast's, subtly, horribly human. Deep in the pit of her eyes, I saw the image of death. They drew the water of sighs from the well of her lullaby breath. She sitteth veiled forever, brooding over the waste. She hath stirred or spoken never. She is fiercely, manly, chaste. What madness made me awake from the silence of utmost held? The grey cold slime of the snake that her poisonous body held. By night I ravished a maid, from the father's camp to the cave. I bared the beautiful blade, I dipped her thrice high the wave. I slit her throat as a lamb's, at the fount of blood leapt high. With my clamour is dirty rams, like a stain on the shield of the sky. With blood and censer and song, I rent the mysterious veil. My eyes gaze long and long, on the deep of that blissful veil. My cold grey kisses wake, from the silence of utmost the held. The grey cold slime of the snake, that her beautiful body held. But, God, I was not content with the blasphemous secret of years. The veil was hardly rent, while the eyes rained stones for tears. So I clung to the lips and left, as the storms of death baited, the storms of the grievous bereft, by the swing of her soul unsated. Wherefore, reborn as I am, by a stream profane and foul, in the reign of the tortured lamb, in the realm of the sexless owl, I am set apart from the rest by meed of the mystic rule. That reads in peril and pest, the ambrosial moon, the moon. For under the tawny star that shines in the wall above, I can rein the riotous car, galloping, galloping love, and straight to the steady ray of the lion, hard lord I could bear, pointing my flaming way with the spasm of night for a spear. Oh moon, oh secret sweet, Chalcedonic clouds of caress about the flame of her feet, the night of our terrible tresses. Is it a wonder then, if the people are mad with blindness, nothing is stranger to men than silence and wisdom and kindness? Nay, let him fashion an arrow whose heart is sober and stout, let him pierce his God to the marrow, let the soul of his God flow out. Nay, let him fashion an arrow whose heart is sober and stout, let him pierce his God to the marrow, let the soul of his God flow out. Whether a snake or a sun, in his horoscope heaven hath cast, it is nothing, every one shall win to the moon at last. The mage hath wrought by his art a billion shapes in the sun, a clue to the heart of his heart, and the many are shapes of one. An end to the art of the mage, and the cold grey blank of the prisoned. An end to the adamant age, the ambrosial moon is arisen. I have bought a lily white goat for the price of a crown of thorns, a collar of gold for its throat, a scarlet bow for its horns. I have bought a lark in the lift for the price of a butt of sherry. With these and God for a gift, it needs no wine to be merry. For the price of a butt of sherry, with these and God for a gift, it needs no wine to be merry. I have bought for a wafer of bread, a garden of poppies and clover, for a water bitter and dead, foam of fire flowing over, The lamb in his prison fair, and the owl's blind stupor. Arise, be ye wise, and strong and fair, and the nectar afloat in your eyes.
It's very powerful.
O ambrosial moon, by the strong immemorial spell, by the subtle verdant moon, it is mighty in heaven and hell. Drip mystical doves on the tongues of the tender thorns.
It's
In
like
the
having a
shade of
battery.
initiate yews, remote from the desert
It's like having a battery.
dawns.
Without it,
Satyrs and
I would
fawns I
definitely
call, bring your beauty to
not be
man.
operating.
I am the mate for y'all. I am the passionate
Without
man.
it, I would definitely not be operating.
Oh, come to the dance, leaping
It's
with wonderful
very
whips.
powerful for her.
Life on the stroke
It's like
of
having
a
a battery.
glance.
I thought it would
Death
definitely,
in
I
the
would
stroke
definitely not be
of the
operating.
lips. I am hidden beyond, shedding the secrets anew, smitten through by the folly of wisdom in you.
It's definitely
While the moon
charging
sheds her ambrosial splendor, reels in the redless
and
room,
helpful.
ineffably, utterly tender.
It's
Ah!
definitely charging and
Pealing
helpful.
cry of deadly hurt in the hollow. Hyacinth, hyacinth, I, smitten to death by Apollo. Swift, O maiden moon, send thy ray dews after. Turn the dolorous tune to soft, ambiguous laughter. Mourn, O melons, mourn. Surely your comfort is over, or we laugh at you long. Hours of the poppies and clover, oh, that mouth and eyes, mischievous male alluring. Oh, that twitch of the thighs, Dorian past enduring. Where is wisdom now? Where the sage in his doubt?
It's
Surely
very
the
powerful
swift
for
of the
her. It's
proud
like having a battery.
have driven the
It
demon
would
out.
definitely not
Surely
be
the scented
operating.
sleep that crowns the
Definitely
equal
charging
all
and
is
helpful.
wiser only to weep forevermore. Now at the crown
What a
of the
cutie.
year, the decadent days of October, I
What a
come to
cutie.
thee God without fear.
What a cutie pie. What a
Now at the
cutie.
crown of the year, the decadent days of October, I come to thee God without fear. Pious, chaste, and sober, I solemnly sacrifice this first fruit flower of wine for the vehicle of thy voice, of thy vice, as I am thine to be mine. For 5 in the year gone by, I pray thee give to me
What a
one,
cutie. Wow,
a love
beauty.
stronger than I, a moon to swallow the sun. May he be like a lily-white goat, crisp as a thicket of thorns,
Maybe I should
with a
do
collar of
that.
gold for his throat, a scarlet bow for his horns. Hear me, Lord of the Stomp. Okay, I want to thank you for coming to John Kitover's TikTok. I'm going to read you Aleister Crowley poetry. This is called A Birthday. This is an exclusive TikTok recording, which will also be uploaded to YouTube. I want to thank my friend Death Hippie for joining me on this poetic journey. Let's start this poetry by taking the deepest breath of the day through our noses. Full moon tonight, in 26 years, since my full moon first broke from angel spheres. A year of infinite love unwearying, no circling seasons, but perennial spring. A year of triumph tripling through defeat, the first made holy and the last made sweet. By this same love, a year of wealth and woe, joy, poverty, health, sickness, all one glow in the pure light that filled our firmament of supreme silence and unbarred extent, wherein one sacrament was ours, one Lord, one resurrection, one recurrent chord, one incarnation, one descending dove, all these being one, and that one being sent your spirit into tunes. My soul yearned with 1,000 melodies to explore. It's happiness. I left no flower
Kings.
that might have graced your garland. I induct tragedy, comedy, farce, fable, song, each longing a little, each a little long, but each aspiring only to express your excellence and my unworthiness. Nay, but my worthiness, since I was sense and spirit too, with that same excellence. So thus we solved the earth's revolving riddle. I could write verse, and you, deaf hippie, could play the fiddle. While as for love, the sun went through the signs, and not a star but told him how love twines. A wreath for every decanot, degree, minute and second, linked eternally in chains of flowers that never fading are. Each one is sempiternal as a star. Let me go back to your last birthday. Then I was already a one man of men, appointed to complete you and fulfill from everlasting the eternal will. We lay within the flood of crimson light, in my own balcony that August night, conjuring the right and the averse, created yet another universe. We worked together, dancing right and spell, arousing heaven and constraining hell. We lived together. Every hour of rest was honeyed from your tiger lily breast. Oh, what lingering doubt or fear betrayed my life to fate. We parted. Was I afraid? I was afraid. Afraid to live, my love. Afraid you played the serpent, I the dove. Afraid of what I know not. I am glad of all the shame and wretchedness I had, since those 6 weeks have taught me not to doubt you, and also that I cannot live without you. Then I came back to you. Black treason's rear, their heads, blind hates, deaf agonies of fear, cruelty, cowardice, falsehood, broken pledges, and temples soiled with senseless sacrileges, sickness and poverty, 1,000 evils, concerted malice of a million devils. You never swerved. Your high-pooped galleon went marvelously, majestically, on full sailed, while every other braver bark drove on the rocks or foundered in the dark. Then Easter, and the days of old delight, God's sun lit noontide and his moon midnight, while above all, true center of our world, true source of light, our great love, passion pearled, gave all its life and splendor to the sea, above whose tide stood our stability. Then sudden and fierce, no monitory moan, smote the mad mischief of the greatest cyclone. How far below us all its fury rolled, unavailingly so for tries to tarnish gold. We lived together. All its menace meant nothing but freedom of a continent. It was the forest and the river that knew the fact that one and one do not make two. We worked, we walked, we slept, we were at ease, we cried, we quarreled, on rocks and trees. For 20 miles could tell how lovers played, and we could count a kiss for every glade. Worry, starvation, illness, and distress. Each moment was a mine of happiness. Then we grew tired of being country mice, came to Paris, lived our sacrifice. how shall I make August sing the raptures of July? And you are gone away. What evil star makes you so competent and popular? How have I raised this heartbeat hag of hells? Malice, that you all wanted somewhere else? I wish you were like me, a man forbid, banned, outcast, nice society well rid of the pair of us. Then who would interfere with us? My darling, you would now be here. But no, we must fight on, win through, succeed, earn the grudged praise that never comes to mead, lash dogs to kennel, trample snakes, put bait in the mule, mouse that have such need of it, until the world is so much to forgive in, becomes a little possible to live in. God alone knows if battle or surrender be the true courage, either has its splendor. But since we chose the first, God aid the right, and damn me if I fail you in the fight. God join again the ways that lie apart, and bless the love of a loyal heart to heart. God keep us every hour in every thought, and bring the vessel of our love to port. And these are my birthday wishes, dawn's at hand, and you're an exile in a lonely land. But what were magic if it could not give my thought enough vitality to live? Do not then dream this night has been a loss. All night I have hung, a god upon the cross. All night I have offered incense at the shrine. All night you have been unutterably mine. Miner in the memory of the first wild hour, when my rough grasp tore the unwilling flower from your closed garden, mine in every mood, in every tense, in every attitude, in every possibility, still mine, while the sun's pomp and pageant signed a sign. Stately proceeded, mine not only so in the glamour of memory and austral glow of ardor, but my image of my brow, stronger than sense, you are even here and now. Mine, utterly mine, my sister and my wife, mother of my children, mistress of my life. Oh, wild swan, winging through the morning mist, the thousand kisses that we kissed, the infinite device of our love devised. Okay, I want to thank you for coming to John Kitover's TikTok. I'm going to read you Aleister Crowley poetry that's called A Birthday. This is an exclusive TikTok recording which will also be uploaded to YouTube. I want to thank my friend Death Hippie for joining me on this poetic journey. Let's start this poetry by taking the deepest breath of Sheng. This is Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, the Book of Meaning and Life. This is an exclusive recording for John Kitover on TikTok. Follow John Kitover on TikTok. Here we go. This is the 33rd verse of the Tao Te Ching. Whosoever knows others is clever. Whosoever knows himself is wise. Whosoever conquers others has force. Whosoever conquers himself is strong. Whosoever asserts himself has willpower. Whosoever is sufficient is rich. Whosoever does not lose his place has duration. Whosoever does not perish in death lives. The great Tao is overflowing. It can be to the left and to the right. All things owe their existence to it, and it does not refuse itself to them. When the work is done, it does not call it its possession. It clothes and nourishes all things, and does not play at being their master. Inasmuch as it is forever, not clamoring, one may call it small. Inasmuch as all things depend on it. Without knowing it as its master, one may call it great. Thus also is the man of calling. He never makes himself look great. Therefore he achieves the great work. Whosoever holds fast to the great primal image, to him the world will come. It comes and is not violated. In calmness, equity, and blessedness. Music and allurement. They may well make the wanderer stop in his tracks. Tao issues forth from the mouth, mild and without taste. You look for it, and you see nothing special. You listen for it, and you hear nothing special. You act according to it, and you find no end. What you want to compress, you must first allow truly to expand. What you want to weaken, you must first allow to grow truly strong. What you want to destroy, you must first allow truly to flourish. From whomever you want to take away, to him you must first truly give. This is called being clear about the invisible. The soft wins victory over the hard. The weak wins victory over the strong. One must not take the fish from the deep. One must not show the people the means of furthering the realm. Tao is eternal, without doing, and yet nothing remains not done. If princes and kings know how to guard it, all things will take shape by themselves. If they take shape by themselves, and desires arise, I should banish them with unutterable simplicity. Unutterable simplicity works departure of desire. Being without desire makes still, and the world rights itself. Okay, the next part is called Part 2, De. We're going to take a brief pause. This is the 38th verse of the Tao Te Ching. This is Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, the Book of Meaning and Life. This is an exclusive recording for John Kitover on TikTok. Follow John Kitover. It's like, I don't even want anybody to see what I'm doing. I just want to be like, only people I want to see what I'm doing are the people that work at Facebook. And, it's like, because I don't want to waste your time. That's essentially why I don't want to be your friend. I don't want you to watch my shit, because I know that your real life is far more important than ever watching a video that I ever create.
On Instagram, you had those, those screenshots of like these beautiful women, but then when you click the video, sitting out of the chick, it was funny.
There is this guy who, he's on Instagram, and he always posts in Pyongyang. He's like some fat guy in an apartment somewhere, and he has all these like lesbian kissing videos, and they're really hot, and it's just hot lesbians kissing, and then immediately it cuts to him in some shitty apartment, and then he starts going on and on about politics and Pyongyang and South Korea and Trump. Like, it's the funniest bait and switch I've ever seen. I don't know his name, but he has a lot of followers, and it's hilarious because he is really legit crazy, but also somewhat smart, but a troll to the highest degree possible. Welcome, Hyatt. Parlez-vous français? Il était chez moi. Charcuterie.
so I'm going to read to you briefly Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, and then I will also give you a bonus brief reading from the Quran. Because I have been reading the Quran, and I love talking shit about Islam. But until you read Quran, you shouldn't be allowed to even disparage Islam, because there's a lot of really interesting things in Quran. And people that hate religion or hate God, they hate Quran and they hate Muslims because they're the worst religious people ever of all human history. So, anyways, it's a joke, but I'm going to read to you Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. I'm just going to briefly go to a random page. This is page, or verse number 8, page 5. So this is a hypnosis. This is a neurolinguistic programming. I'll just preface this. Listen closely. You don't have to worry about trying to really understand it. Just know that this is like an upload. This is me giving you like a 10 megabyte package, and it's going to go in your memory. So take the deepest breath of the day through your nose. Hold it for 10 seconds. Let it go and say, I am Ruach. Now take the second deepest breath of the day through your nose. Hold it for 10 seconds. Let it go and say, I am Spiritus. Okay, this is your Tao Te Ching hypnosis reprogramming for the day to dehypnotize you so you don't go astray from the way. This is Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. The highest benevolence is like water. The benevolence of water is to benefit all beings without strife. It dwells in places which man despises. Therefore it stands close to Tao. Indwelling, benevolence shows itself in place. In thinking, benevolence shows itself in depth. In giving, benevolence shows itself in love. In speech, benevolence shows itself in truth. In ruling, benevolence shows itself in order. In working, benevolence shows itself in competence. In movement, benevolence shows itself in timing. He who does not assert himself thereby remains free of blame. To hold on to something and thereby make it overflow, this is not worthwhile. To make use of something and still keep it sharp, this cannot be sustained for long. A palace full of gold and diamonds nobody can protect. To be rich, entitled, and arrogant into the bargain, this in itself attracts misfortune. When the work is done, it is time to withdraw. This is the Tao of heaven. Can you educate your soul so that it encompasses the one without dispersing itself? Can you make your strength unitary and achieve that softness that makes you like a little child? Can you cleanse your secret seeing so that it becomes free of stain? Can you love men and rule the state so that you remain without knowledge? Can you, when the gates of heaven open and close, be like the female bird? Can you penetrate everything with your inner clarity and purity without having need for action? Generating and nourishing, generating and not possessing, being effective and not retaining, increasing and not dominating. This is the secret of life. 30 spokes surround the hub. In their nothingness consists the carriage's effectiveness. One hollows the clay and shapes it into pots. In its nothingness consists the pot's effectiveness. One cuts out doors and windows to make the chamber. In the nothingness consists the chamber's effectiveness. Therefore, what exists serves for possession. What does does not exist serves for effectiveness. The 5 colors blind men's eyes, the 5 tones deafen men's ears, the 5 flavors spoil men's palates. Running and chasing make men's hearts mad. Rare goods confuse men's ways. Therefore the man of calling works for the body's needs, not for the eyes. He removes the other and takes this. Grace is as shameful as a fright. Honor is a great evil like the persona. What does this mean? Grace is as shameful as a fright. Grace is something inferior. One attains it, and one is as if frightened. That is what is meant by grace is as shameful as fright. What does this mean? Honor is as great evil like the persona. The reason I experience great evil is that I have a persona. If I have no persona, what evil could I experience? Therefore, whosoever honors the world is in his persona, to him one may entrust the world. Whosoever loves the world in his persona, to him one may hand over the world. One looks for it and does not see it. Its name is seed. One listens for it and does not hear it. Its name is subtle. One reaches for it.
It's like, I don't even want anybody to see what I'm doing. I just want to be like, only people I want to see what I'm doing are the people that work at Facebook. And putting on about politics and Pyongyang and South Korea and Trump. Like, it's the funniest bait and switch I've ever seen. I don't know his name, but he has a lot of followers, and it's hilarious because he is really legit crazy, but also somewhat smart, but a troll to the highest degree possible. Welcome, Hyatt.
Parlez-vous français? Il est à ce moi. Charcuterie. Oh, mon ami.
That's a beautiful French.
Oui, oui. Charcuterie. Anything but the things that depend on the will. What you shun, enduring yourself, attempt to impose on others. You shun slavery. Beware of enslaving others. If you can endure to do that, one would think you had been once upon a time a slave yourself. Vice has nothing in common with virtue, nor freedom with slavery. Has a man been raised to the tribuneship? Every one that he meets congratulates him. One kisses him on the eyes, another on the neck, while the slaves kiss his hands. He goes home to find torches burning. He sends to the capital to sacrifice whoever sacrificed for having had right desires, for having conceived such inclinations as nature would have him. In truth, we thank the gods for that wherein we place our happiness. A man was talking to me today about the priesthood of Augustus. I said to him, let the thing go, my good sir. You will spend a great deal to no purpose. Well, but my name will be inserted in all the documents and contracts. Will you be standing there to tell those that read them, that is my name written there? And even though you could now be there in every case, what will you do when you are dead? At all events, my name will remain. Inscribe it on a stone, and it will remain just as well, and think beyond Nicopolis, what memory of you will there be. But I shall have a golden wreath to wear. If you must have a wreath, get a wreath of roses and put it on. You will look more elegant. Above all, remember that the door stands open. Be not more fearful than children, but as they, when they weary of the game, cry, I will play no more. Even so, when thou art in the like case, cry, I will play no more and depart, but if thou stayest, make no lamentation. Is there smoke in the room? If it be slight, I remain. If grievous, I quit it. For you must remember this and hold it fast, the door stands open. You should not dwell at Nicopolis, well and good, nor at Athens.
and I will not dwell at Athens either, nor at Rome, nor at Rome either. You shall dwell in Gyara. Well, but to dwell in Gyara seems to me like a grievous smoke. Depart to a place where none can forbid me to dwell. That habitation is open to all. For as for the last garment of all, that is the poor body. Beyond that, none cannot do aught unto me. This is why Demetrius said to Nero, you threaten me with death, but it is nature who threatens you. The beginning of philosophy is to know the condition of one's own mind. If a man recognizes that this is in a weakly state, he will not then want to apply it to questions of the greatest moment, as it is men who are not fit to swallow even a morsel, buy whole treatises and try to devour them. Accordingly, that will vomit them up again or suffer from indigestion, whence come gripings, fluxions, and fevers, whereas they should have stopped to consider their capacity. In theory, it is easy to convince an ignorant person. In actual life, men not only object to offer themselves to be convinced, but hate the man who has convinced them. Whereas Socrates used to say that we should never lead a life not subjected to examination. This is the reason why Socrates, when reminded that he should prepare for his trial, answered, thinkest thou not that I have been preparing for it all my life? In what way? I've maintained that which in me lay. How so? I have never secretly, openly done wrong unto any. In what character dost thou now come forward? As a witness summoned by God. Come thou, saith God, and testify for me, for thou art worthy of being brought forward as a witness by me. Is aught that is outside thy will, either good or bad? Do I hurt any man? Have I placed the good of each in the power of any other than herself? What witness dost thou bear to God? I am in evil state, master, I am undone. None careth for me, none giveth me aught. All men blame, all speak evil of me. Is this the witness thou wilt bear and do dishonour to the calling wherewith he hath called thee? Because he hath done thee so great honour, and deemed thee worthy of being summoned to bear witness in so great a cause? Wouldst thou have men speak good of thee? Speak good of them. And when thou hast learned to speak good of them, try to do good unto them, and thus thou wilt reap in return their speaking good of thee. When thou goest into any of the great, remember that another from above sees what is passing, and that thou shouldest please him rather than man. He therefore asks thee, in the schools, what didst thou call exile, imprisonment, bonds, death, and shame? I call them different things, and I call them things indifferent. What then dost thou call them now? Are they at all changed? No. It is then thou that art changed? No. Say then, what are things indifferent? Things that are not in our power. Say then what follows, that things which are not in our power are nothing to me. Say also what things you hold to be good, a will such as it ought to be, and a right use of the things of sense.
We have
What
it,
is the end?
baby. We
To
got it. See
believe
the location. There we go.
that Socrates should ever have been so treated by the Athenian slave. Why say Socrates? Speak of the thing as it is. That ever then the poor body of Socrates should have been dragged away and haled by maids forced to
That's
prison.
all over.
That ever
Holy
Hamlet should have been
shit.
given to the body of Socrates. That should have breathed its life away. Do you marvel at this? Do you hold this unjust? Is it for this that you accuse God? Had Socrates no compensation for this? Where then for him was the ideal good? Whom shall we hearken to, you or him? And what says he? Anytus and Miletus may put me to death, to injure me is beyond their power. And again, if such be the will of God, so let it be. Nay, young man, for heaven's sake, but once thou hast heard these words, go home and say to thyself, it is not Epictetus that has told me these things, how indeed he. No, it is some gracious God through him, else it would never have entered his head to tell me them. He that is not used to speak to any one of us, well then, let us not lie under the wrath of God, but be obedient unto him. Nay, indeed, but if a raven by its croaking bears thee any sign, it is not the raven, but God that sends the sign through the raven. And if he signifies anything to thee through human voice, will he not cause the man to say these words to thee, that thou mayest know the power of the divine? How he sends a sign to some in one way, and to others in another, and on the greatest and highest matters of all signifies his will through the noblest messenger. What else does the poet mean? I spake unto him erst myself, and sent Hermes in the shining one to check and warn him, the husband not to slay, nor woo the wife. In the same way, my friend Heraclitus, who had a trifling suit about a petty farm at Rhodes, first showed the judges that his cause was just, and then at the finish cried, I will not entreat you, nor do I care what sentence you pass. It is you who are on your trial, not I. And so he ended the case. As for us, we behave like a herd of deer. When they flee from the huntsman's feathers in affright, which way do they turn? What haven of safety do they make for? Why, they rush upon the nets. Thus they perish by confounding what they should fear with that wherein no danger lies. Not death or pain is to be feared, but the fear of death or pain. Well said the poet, therefore, death has no terror, only a death of shame. How is it then that certain external things are said to be natural, and others contrary to nature? Why, just as it might be said if we stood alone and apart from others, a foot, for instance, I will allow it is natural should be clean, but if you take it as a foot, and as a thing which does not stand by itself, it will beseemeth, if need be, to walk in the mud, to tread on thorns, and sometimes even to be cut off, for the benefit of the whole body. Else it is no longer a foot. In some such way we should conceive of ourselves also, what art thou, a man? Looked at as standing by thyself and separate, it is natural for thee in health and wealth long to live. But looked at as a man, and only as a part of a whole, it is for that whole's sake that thou shouldst at one time fall sick, and another brave the perils of the sea again. Know the meaning of want, and perhaps die an earthly death, an early death. Why then repine? Knowest thou not that as the foot is no more a foot if detached from the body, so thou in like case art no longer a man? For what is a man? A part of a city. First of the city of gods and of men, next of that which ranks nearest it, a miniature of the universal city. In such a body, in such a world enveloping us, among lives like these, such things must happen to one or another. A part then being there is to anything but the things that depend on the will. What you shun, enduring yourself attempt to impose on others, you shun slavery,
is called Aleister Crowley, the atheist. Nor thou, Habib, nor I are glad, when rosy limbs and sweet entwine, but rapture drowns the sense and self, the wine, the drawer of the wine. And him that planted first the grape, O Podex, in thy vault there dwells a charm to make the member mad, and shake the marrow of the spine. O member, in thy stubborn strength a power avails on Podex, sense to boil the blood in breast and brain, shudder the nerves incarnadine. From me thou drawest pearly drink, and in its pourings both are drunk. The Iman drives forth the drunken man from out the marble prayer shrine. Blue Mushtari strove with red Merrick, which should be master of the night. But where is Mushtari? Where Merrick? When in the sky the sun doth shine. Now El Kahar to Hatzif gives the worship unto poets due. But songs are not in music all what poet music may define. Allah is the atheist, he owns no Allah. Snare thou dullard churl, the Sufi worships naught but drinks, being himself the all divine. Come, my Habib, the roses blush, the waters gleam, the bulbul sings, to pierce thy Podex el-Qahar's urgent and imminent design. That's called the atheist.
Okay,
monotheistic interpretation, or Islamic Sufism, Muslim Sufis. Okay, I'm going to read you one more. This is called. Hold on a second.
Just tell me, what do you understand? Why?
Okay, I'm going to record this in a minute. This is called The Hermit by Crowley. An attack on Barbara Craft dedicated to George Cecil Jones. At last, an end of all I hoped and feared, muttered the hermit through his elephant beard. Then what art thou? The evil whisper word. I doubt me sorely if the hermit heard. To all God's questions never as word he said, but simply shook his venerable head. God sent all plagues, he left and heeded not, till people certified him insane. But somehow all his fellow lunatics began to imitate his silly tricks, silly ticks. And stranger still, their prospects so enlarged that one by one the patients were discharged. God asked him by what right he interfered. He interfered. He only left and into his elfin beard. When God revealed himself to mortal prayer, he gave a fatal opening to Voltaire. Oh, Herbie had dispensed with Sinai's thunder, but on the other hand, he made no blunder. He knew no doubt that any axiom would furnish bricks to build some donkeydom. But all who urged that hermit to confess caught the infection of his happiness. I, would it were my fate to dree his weird, I think that I will grow an elfin beard. Okay, we'll read one more. This is called The Mantra Yoga by Alistair Crowley. How should I seek to make a song for thee, when all my music is to moan thy name? A long, sad monotone, the same, matching the mute, insatiable sea that throbs with life's bewitching agony. Too long to measure and too fierce to tame, and hurtful joy, fascinating shame, is this great ache that grips the heart of me. Even as a cancer, so this passion gnaws, weigh my soul and will not ease its jaws till I am dead. Then let me die. Who knows but that this corpse committed to the earth may be the occasion of some happier birth? Spring's earliest snowdrop, summer's latest rose. Thou knowest what asp hath fixed its lethal tooth in the white breast that trembled like a flower. Thy name whispered, thou hast marked how hour by hour poison hath dissolved flame, hath skilled to agonize, hath skilled to soothe, is patient ineluctable, is power slave to its single end to storm the tower that holdeth thee art authentic truth. Sigh. Behold how the grave creeps upon the shuddering road. Still I will strive that thou mayst swift on the dead from thine all-seeing steep, and the unutterable word by spoken. Okay, that was called The Mantra Yoga by Crowley. One more, this is called Quest.
And I'm the founder of the SBL Group. One of our specialties is foreclosure litigation. The reason I got involved with foreclosure litigation is I saw a need during the last recession where families were being forced down the street because of the amount of foreclosures that were happening here in the state of California. What is a foreclosure? A foreclosure is when the bank tries to take the home away from you because they're claiming that you haven't made payments on the loan, and that they can do that under what's called a deed of trust. In California, we're a non-judicial foreclosure state. which means the banks, all they have to do to foreclose on your property is record what's called a notice of default and a notice of trustee sale. A notice of default starts the clock. The notice of default expires after 90 days, and then a notice of trustee sale can be recorded after that, and your property can be sold 20 days after that without any judicial oversight. Even if the bank is wrong, even if you're even making your payments, or alternatively, what they're saying you owe is incorrect, that doesn't matter. They can still foreclose on your property. So just because they're wrong and you think you're right, that's not going to stop a foreclosure sale. What you need to do, or what can happen, is you can try to stop the sale by either reinstating the loan, which means bringing the loan current based on what they're claiming you owe them, or alternatively getting a court order, which is typically referred to as a temporary restraining order or preliminary injunction. What we do here is we assess cases, identify grounds to go into court to stop a foreclosure, and go in and get a temporary restraining order or preliminary injunction. When we assess these cases and we go in for a TRO, we do have a very good success rate. It's over 90% of stopping imminent foreclosures. And a foreclosure is a very sad situation. If you go down to the courthouses on certain days, you'll see a group of people there buying people's homes that are being auctioned off. And the problem with that is twofold. One, there's no government entity there preventing it. Number two is you're not maximizing the value of your property. All they're doing is trying to get that loan paid off. So let's say the house is worth $1 million and you only owe $250,000. It's possible that someone might just buy that house for $250,000 and you lose that $750,000 in equity. What we try to do is we look at our clients' goals, both short-term and long-term. Obviously, if you're facing them in foreclosure, the short-term goal is to stop the foreclosure. And again, that's by going in for a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction. Long-term goal is either keeping you in your home and figuring out a way to do that.
So how much does a foreclosure cases? We're going to be conducting discovery. We're going to be doing a thorough intake, stop the foreclosure, and then they're working out some kind of deal to either get you out from under all your debt or get you back on some kind of payment plan. My experience with the majority of the bankruptcy lawyers that advertise foreclosure defense is that they
here in front of the Miami-Dade County Courthouse, talking about defenses that work to help you defend against foreclosure. One of the most common one is standing. Is the party bringing the lawsuit the correct party? United States of America. It shouldn't be that hard to require the bank, who generally people don't know, it's not a bank that they sign the loan with, some other bank, some other company, before they take your house, they should have to prove their case. Pretty simple. There's a number of ways you can do it. You want more information about standing, feel free to contact.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to be. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a.
That I'm.
Yeah, you're gonna get. It's called Al. Yeah, you're gonna get canceled. Okay, this is called Power by Aleister Crowley. The mighty sound of forests murmuring in answer to the dread command. The stars that shudder when the king extends his hand. His awful hand to bless, to curse, or moves toward the dimmest den in the thick leaves not known of loves or nymphs or men. Only the sylph's frail gossamer may wave the quiet frondage yet. Only her dewy tears may lave the violet. The mighty answer of the shaken sky to his supreme behest. Call lyrics that behold an high night's funeral. And see the pale moon quiver and depart far beyond space, the sun ascend and draw earth's globe unto his heart.